What if the biggest threat in the universe isn't a star or a black hole or a rogue planet, but something alive? For decades, we've stared into deep space searching for patterns, gravitational anomalies, strange thermal signatures, mysterious voids. And every time we find something that defies the laws of physics, we patch the data with new theories, new assumptions, new calculations. But what if the anomalies aren't errors? What if they're footprints, not of a cosmic phenomenon, but of a creature so large its shadow swallows entire star systems? A creature older than galaxies, darker than nebulae, drifting silently through the void. Tonight, we dive into the forbidden idea that astrophysicists whisper about off-record. The hypothesis of a planet-sized beast in deep space. And why some believe we've already encountered it. Our story begins in a region of the universe astronomers call the cosmic desert, a patch of intergalactic space so empty, so quiet, so barren, that nothing should be there. And yet, in 2015, 2017, and again in 2022, multiple radio telescopes picked up repeating, low-frequency pulses from this region. Not pulsars, not quasars, not anything we know. The signals were irregular, organic, almost like a heartbeat, but stretched across light years. The pattern was simple yet terrifying. A pulse every 11 days, then every 9 days. Then every 6, as if something massive was accelerating. Astronomers explained it away as instrumental interference. But internal memos leaked a year later showed the truth. The signal behaves like resonance from a moving object exceeding planetary scale. Let that sink in. Something bigger than a planet, moving. But the signals were only the beginning. In 2024, the Euclid Space Telescope surveyed a distant cluster approximately 3 billion light-years away, and found something impossible. A circular shadow. Not a planet, not a dust cloud, not a black hole, but an occlusion blocking the light of multiple galaxies behind it. Think about that. This wasn't a single star being eclipsed. This was the light of entire galaxies dimming, then brightening again, then dimming. As if something enormous was drifting between us and them. The shadow spanned nearly 2/3 the width of Mercury's orbit, meaning whatever caused it was roughly the size of Earth, or larger. But here's the detail that mainstream media never reported. The dimming wasn't uniform. It fluctuated, like light passing through something with uneven mass. Something with shape, complex shape, like ridges, like appendages, like a body. Scientists called it variable intergalactic occlusion number 47. But inside the unpublished notes, a different term appears. Unidentified celestial megafauna candidate. Megafauna, as in giant animal. Let's step back, because this isn't the first time something like this has appeared, not in data, but in human history. Civilizations separated by oceans, mountains, and centuries describe the same terrifying entity. A colossal creature drifting through the heavens. The Babylonians called it Tiamat, the cosmic leviathan. Polynesian myths speak of Tanawa, celestial beasts that swim between stars. Inuit lore describes Tarki-Arswak, the great black hunger that devours the lights in the sky. Norse mythology describes Jormungandr, a serpent encircling the world, so large its body is mistaken for land. You might say these are just stories. But what if ancient humans saw something? A shadow across the stars, a pulse in the night sky, a shifting darkness so massive it defied comprehension? Myths aren't born out of nothing. They are echoes, faint memories of something that once terrified our ancestors. And now, for the first time in history, our telescopes are catching up to those myths. A leaked internal NASA report made its way to researchers on the dark web. It described an unclassified but concerning thermal anomaly detected by the James Webb Telescope. A patch of cold heat. Yes, you heard that right. Infrared sensors detected an object colder than the surrounding vacuum of space, yet emitting rhythmic bursts of thermal radiation, as if heat was being generated inside and escaping through cracks. That sort of pattern is typically seen in only one category of phenomenon: biological metabolic cycles. But here's the detail that truly sent chills down the scientific community. The bursts weren't random. They matched the earlier radio pulses from the cosmic desert, meaning the anomaly and the pulses likely come from the same source, the same moving source. The report concluded with a line that was quickly blacked out in the official version. Observable thermal cycling is anatomically consistent with an organism of planetary scale. Planetary scale. NASA has never acknowledged the document, which honestly makes the situation much worse. Let's entertain the hypothesis fully. Assume the object is alive. Assume it is moving. Assume it is massive, comparable to a planet. Then the question becomes, what does something that big eat? A creature drifting alone in intergalactic space cannot feed on small prey, or asteroids, or dust. Its energy needs would be astronomical. So the theory suggests something far more unnerving. It feeds on stars, not by devouring them whole, but by absorbing their radiation like cosmic plankton. Some astrophysicists privately call it a photosynthetic superorganism, but others propose a darker alternative, a predator that feeds on gravitational energy, a creature that drifts between galaxies searching for areas with the highest density of matter, like clusters, or superclusters, or galaxies like ours. This might explain strange gravitational distortions recorded near the edges of known space, not as invisible dark matter, but as the gravitational wake of something massive passing through, a presence capable of bending space-time around itself, like a living black hole. Let that thought settle in your mind. A creature that hunts by warping gravity. This is where everything converges. The pulses increasing in speed, the shifting shadow, the cold heat signature, the gravitational distortions. When plotted together, they form a trajectory. Not random, not drifting, a path. And that path points directly toward our region of the universe. Now, before panic sets in, keep this in mind. Even at immense speed, an object of that size might take thousands or millions of years to reach us. But the idea that it is moving this way, that it is accelerating, that it is aware of the rich galactic neighborhood ahead, raises the ultimate question. Does it know we are here? And even more terrifying, does it care? If this creature is truly alive, why haven't we directly seen it? Because many believe it hides in plain sight. Not invisibility, but adaptation. A creature evolving in the vacuum of space might not look like a traditional animal. It wouldn't have skin or scales or fur. Instead, it might mimic the environment around it, absorbing starlight, matching cosmic background radiation, emitting darkness to blend into voids, bending light around itself, camouflaging as a shadow, a nebula, or even part of empty space. Its surface might appear like dark dust clouds, or like the background of space itself, meaning we could be staring right at it and never know. Here is the final piece of the conspiracy. What if this creature isn't unique? Biologists say life thrives in numbers. Species survive through populations. So what if space, the coldest, darkest, most unexplored environment in existence, is home to entire ecosystems of planet-sized beings? What if the strange voids between galaxies aren't empty? What if the dark patches we call gaps are simply areas they once passed through? What if the universe is not a silent vacuum, but a cosmic ocean filled with predators and giants and ancient life forms that dwarf planets? And we, humans, are nothing more than microscopic organisms, living on a fragile rock, floating in a sea of monsters. So here's the truth. We don't know what's out there. We never have. But the signals, the shadows, the anomalies, they hint at a universe far stranger than we ever imagined. A universe where planets are prey, where stars are food, where the biggest life forms drift silently in the void, older than galaxies, larger than imagination, waiting to be discovered, or waiting to discover us. If this creature is real, we may be witnessing the earliest signs of something colossal moving through the darkness. And the only real question is, when it arrives, will we even survive long enough to see it?